brought to you by Sprite. It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, joined by the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Phoenix Suns. Taking a look at the Suns, coming off a loss in the first game of the season, they'll no doubt be anxious to put tonight's contest in the win column and avoid an 0-2 start. One of those guys who can really shoot the ball, and for him, the playoffs in 2014, a breakthrough. We're talking about Danny Green, Shaq.
Yes, he is perfect for the Spurs. He runs off screens and knocks down threes, especially when I tell him to leave it all the time. If you take a look at this right here, Ernie, he releases the shot, and he leaves it up there as it goes in. Yak 'em.
You're trying to tell me that your advice to Danny Green on three-point shooting has paid off. Come on.
Yes, it has.
Come on.
Yes, I taught him, I taught Dennis Scott, I taught Glenn Rice, I taught Brian Shaw. Leave it.
Time now to go out to Kevin Harlan as we get set for the tip.
And now introducing your Phoenix Suns. At the shooting guard position,
we're wearing our costumes. We hope you are too. Happy Halloween as 2K Sports presents the NBA with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. This is Kevin Harlan. We'll be hearing from Doris Burke from around the sideline throughout the game. This Arizona crowd ready to roar in this Western Conference matchup for the Phoenix Suns. And this matchup with the Spurs, it's their first meeting of the season. They could only manage a single win in 4 tries against these guys last year.
Well, these are a pair of conference rivals that are going to be very familiar with each other by the end of the season. So this is just the first of 4 games they'll see each other.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. On the court for San Antonio, Mills and Manu at the guards. Corey Brewer is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Duncan in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Starting out this series, Clark, they're just, getting a feel for each other, feeling out this year's roster.
That's exactly right, Kevin. In the early season, you do a little scouting. This is where you get your bearings and kind of figure out what you need to do to beat those guys. I love these rivalries.
Beautiful job angling his body, shielding the big man from the ball on his way to the basket.
That's really the only way to do it if you're going to take it down there amongst the tall trees.
Now, here is Irving, coming off 31 points last game.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Well, it was the San Antonio Spurs winning their last game against Dallas.
Yeah, guys, it was just their night. It seemed like they hit every shot they looked at.
Absolutely. It was just one of those games where the hot shooting of a couple of players eventually just infected everybody.
The rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
Now here's Barnes. Into Nene. And stolen by Aldridge. And the Spurs pushing it up now. Brewer's got the ball. Count the bucket.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
The Suns have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game.
As great as Aldridge was in the first half of last year, he felt like he was going to really kick it into overdrive in the second half of the season because of his all-star snub.
Well, I think this is the start they wanted. Come out and put some points up early. 3 of 4 so far.
Mills can't hit.
Not sure what he was thinking there. That's embarrassing.
You think? I mean, come on now. Doesn't he realize there's a game going on here?
Now, here is Irving. He's got 5, and it's Phoenix scoring again. And Aldridge saying he should have been a starter in last year's All-Star game. Probably comparing the Blazers record at the time to that of Kevin Love's of Minnesota.
Yeah, but it's not just team success. I mean, one thing for Aldridge, he takes some tough shots. A 23-point per game score, but his shooting efficiency was actually below average last year. I get the feeling that Tim Duncan would make a mean poker player. With his reluctance to display emotion on the court, it's pretty clear when he's on the court, the big fundamental is all business.
And that one falls for Duncan.
And you talk about Duncan's reserved demeanor, snubbed from the All-Star game last season, but you never hear him complain. That's just not how he does things.
And for Duncan, as respected Clark as he is, you wonder if he's gotten the recognition that he truly deserves.
Well, it's like a lot of things, Kevin. Sometimes you don't truly appreciate it until it's gone. But he's one of the 10 best players of all time in my book. Consistency, high-level performance, championships, every measure you use to evaluate him makes him one of the 10 best to play.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with head coach Jeff Hornacek. He talked about the respect he has for the game of LaMarcus Aldridge and how tough it would be for them to slow him down, saying Aldridge is tough because he could score facing up or with his back to the basket. And with his length, it's tough to bother his shot. We'll look to deny him the ball when we can and just try to make it as hard as possible every touch. Kevin, we'll see how successful they are.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Here's what Phoenix has got going on right now. Eldon Brand's checked in for Gobert. Wright comes in for Nene. And Matt Barnes is subbed in for Harrison Barnes. Then for the Spurs, Hollins is checked in, and it's Green in for Manu Ginobili.
You can see how much the defense respects him. I mean, they were all over him on that look.
Irving drives in. He got right to the cup. He's in that screen. Irving's got 9 points. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played. Nelson dishes to Hollins. Fader on the way. No good. So Phoenix will take it the other way.
They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
I didn't like the defensive game plan they had going into that one. It just seemed out of whack. The matchups were wrong, and they didn't bring the energy necessary either.
You know, it was befuddling to me why they stuck with that, Steve. I mean, they dug themselves a hole, and then they didn't make the changes they should have to get out of it. Didn't make any good adjustments there.
Dion Waiters checked in for Gerald Henderson. Austin, he's checked in for San Antonio. Allen comes in for Corey Brewer. Good on the shot.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the league.
Spurs trail by 4. Pass to Allen. Back to Nelson. Here's Austin. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Oh, we've got a moment to look back to last year's Spurs right now. First in assists, first in three-point field goal percentage. And they were number 2 in field goal percentage. This is a team that got good shots on a regular basis and knocked them down.
And Clark, what you talked about that really resonates with me is the assists, because they were the best in the league. Clearly a result of wonderful offensive execution and, of course, unselfishness. It didn't seem to matter who was taking the shot. That team always tried to find the open man.
No good from Irving.
Really high-quality shot there, just a little off with his release.
That miss right there will definitely leave him shaking his head.
Boy, he is a strong finisher on the fast break.
Yeah, he sure is. He remains in total control, even at full speed. I love that about him.
And the official signaled the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
That's one of the few mistakes they've made this half. Turnovers haven't been an issue for them yet.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Here's Allen. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
Looked like the defense kind of backed off him, and he took advantage.
The Suns have gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. A very solid start for them. Wright with a screen on Nelson. Irving kicks to Barnes. Back to Irving. Brand passes to Barnes. 3-pointer. It's the end of the first with a tie game here, and already these offenses, Clark, are clicking. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And from what we've seen, guys, from the Suns, what are you thinking so far?
A lot of hard work being put in on the glass. This is a very physical team. They're doing a nice job in the paint.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a good job gang rebounding too, Steve. Everybody's boxing out down there.
They've got Dion Waiters. Thompson is out there with Brandon Wright. Then there's Irving. And it's Barnes in the small forward position. So that's the Suns' 5 as we get into the second quarter.
Kyrie Irving 3 seasons ago was the only rookie in NBA history to shoot as well as he did from the three-pointers, the field, and the free throw line. There's no question about it. He is an elite shooter.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, thanks, Kevin. Matt Barnes out of UCLA, of course, an energy and effort player. He brings toughness and a defensive mindset, and he said, I always look forward to guarding the best player. My thing is to stay into them and make them uncomfortable with pressure. You want to make them work hard and not allow them to get anything easy. Kevin, back to you.
A versatile defender and much improved as a shooter over the years, Doris. Thanks. Out of bounds, Phoenix takes possession.
Irving, super skilled, one of the league's best shooters, and he'd make a strong case for being the league's most elusive ball handler as well. Seems to get by his man pretty much at will.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Nene, he's checked in for Wright. And it's Henderson for Kyrie Irving. Then for the Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for Austin. Brewer comes in for Green, and it's Mills in for Nelson. Here's Mills. Allen for 3. And a great assist by Aldridge as that one goes in. Allen's got 5 points so far. And Irving super quick with the ball in his hands. And when he gets to the basket, a master using spin and English to convert.
And Kevin, you know, the story is that growing up, the hoop in his yard had a big part of the backboard broken off on the right side. So he had to learn that spin in English in order to bank it in.
I like that story.
Necessity is the mother of creation.
2 shots.
And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats here for the Spurs?
Tell you what, guys, they're showing us a lot of energy early on and racking up those fast break points.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively, they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
The Spurs making a switch here. Ginobili's checked in. Good on the second free throw.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that the Suns were selling first-round picks. Now the complete opposite. This team stacking up draft picks as they look to go young and rebuild this club.
Now, here's Brewer. 9-point game his last outing, and Duncan gets it to go in.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
Agreed. I mean, you look at the points, I mean, they're getting a lot of baskets off of assists, so the offense really clicking here.
Here's Henderson, following the basket by Tim Duncan. Waiters gets a wide-open look. Out to Thompson. Barnes with it. Passes to Nene. Another shot. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Nene, I think, an underrated defensive player. Not a big shot blocker, but he has tremendous size and strength. He can move laterally. So he can really move to cover the pick and roll and switch on to guards, an effective defender.
Gobert, he's checked in for Thompson. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And Nene, for his size and agility, at times somewhat disappointing in terms of rebounding the ball. Throughout his career, actually, and his rebound rate has fallen steadily over the last 3 years. Maybe injuries a factor in that, but they do need more from him on the glass.
And that one's good.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Suns trailing. Here's Waiters. 14 points from him the last game against the Lakers. Here's Henderson. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. We talk about the subtle decline for Nene. His scoring efficiency, Steve, also taking a turn for the worse over the last couple seasons.
Yeah, still in his early 30s. You know, age shouldn't be that big a factor for a big man, but I guess it's the accumulation of all those injuries, including his knee sprain last season, that may be taking their toll.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Dion Waiters going into last season working on playing off the ball, whether, catch and shoot, Steve, or coming off screens.
Yeah, he's most comfortable with the ball in his hands, but playing alongside Kyrie Irving, he's got to be more effective without the ball, working off those screens and learning to play with her.
The Spurs making a switch here. Hollins is checked in. And now here's the 2K leaderboard with the list of the NBA's best teams from three-point land a year ago. Number 1, the Spurs.
You know, Kevin, they were absolutely fantastic last year. I mean, they demanded respect from behind the arc all year long. Very consistent and very disciplined in their shot selection. They knew exactly how to move the defense and move themselves to get quality looks from behind the three-point line.
Now here's Ginobili. And Mills kicks to Hollins. 4 on the shot clock. Brewer. And the Spurs scoring again.
And Waiters really has tried to emphasize staying on balance with his shot. Taking better shots, better quality shots within the offense. And we saw the results. There was an uptick in his percentages from the field and from long range as well.
And misses it off the right side of the rim. The Spurs have gone a sensational 5 of 5 from the field since the start of the second quarter. Here's Hollins, guarded by Nene. On the wing, Brewer. Back to Ginobili. Spurs working the ball around now. Here's Aldridge. Another one falls for San Antonio.
And Waiters still a volume scorer. To improve his efficiency, he's got to get that free throw percentage back up and become more consistent finishing inside. But he's a natural scorer. He certainly has the talent.
So for the Suns, Elton Brand's checked in for Nene. Barnes comes in for Barnes. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Waiters. Here's Aldridge. Money from the wing. And it's a 6-point Spurs lead.
Great teamwork out there, really helping each other out.
They're playing as one. I mean, they're like a symphony. Everybody in harmony and in beat and in rhythm. 5 straight baskets now have resulted because of assists.
Now, here is Irving. 13 points in the game. Henderson kicks to Irving. Phoenix, no good that time either.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
6-second difference between the shot and game clock. 11 feet away, and the Spurs scoring again.
Got himself into really good position there. Can't pass that shot up, guys.
Suns trail by 8.
And if they're smart, they will hold for the last shot.
That's got to be the objective here, Steve.
Left side, Irving. That's good. Irving has got 4 points this quarter. Here's Ginobili. No good on the quick 3. Heaves it up. Shot misses. That'll do it for the first half. Spurs lead by 6. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke.
Well, Pop, a solid halftime lead here. How were you able to keep their offensive firepower in check so well in that second quarter?
I thought missed a couple of shots. They missed some easy shots. So they helped us a great deal. So we were pretty fortunate that quarter.
Pop, thanks for the time. Guys?
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball. And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast. Kyrie Irving really making a difference here.
Yeah, what a remarkable half, the way he attacked the rim and scored in the paint. Defenders, they were trying to slow him down any way possible, but he still got through.
Easier said than done when he's the penetrator. His speed and agility make him extremely hard to defend.
On the court for San Antonio, Mills and Manu at the guards. Aldridge out there with Duncan. And it's Brewer in a quick 3 spot. The offensive rebound. Shot is good, and the Spurs lead is cut down to 4 on the bucket from Nene.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball.
Ginobili dishes to Mills. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. Mills has got 5 points so far. Well, Phoenix shooting 52% from the floor. Nice work so far from them.
Nene, a 6'11 Brazilian big man, strong and quick-footed with a nice touch. And he's a quality two-way player. For him, as is the case with a lot of players, it's about health. You know, over the course of his 12-year career, he's missed almost a third of available games due to injury.
Second half rolling along now. About a minute played here. Takes the 13-footer. Shot is good, and the Spurs lead is cut down to 7 on the bucket from Henderson.
Well, he had that tight separation there on the mid-range jump shot. Really good job of taking advantage of that.
We'll talk about Nene's troubles at times staying on the court, Steve. Some say he's unwilling to play through pain.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the case. You know, all I know is that when he's healthy, he is one of the most effective big men in the NBA, and he had a terrific run in the playoffs last year, particularly in that Chicago series.
Over in the corner, Barnes. Outside Irving. 6 on the shot clock. He dishes it to Nene. And stolen by Aldridge. And the Spurs pushing it up now. And it's slammed in by Ginobili.
Agility leads to thievery there as he's got his hand in there to get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
Plays like that are telling the story of this game for me so far, Clark. They cannot afford to hand over any more easy points like that.
Phoenix calls timeout. At this point of the game, always important to stay focused, and while the coach goes over the game plan, these players are getting a much-needed chance to rehydrate and refuel with Gatorade. And guys, we know the drill well, all three of us drinking the Gatorade too.
Yeah, no question. Right. I mean, Kevin, people have no idea fatigue that can set in during a telecast, and so it's important for us to stay hydrated all game long.
Clark, you're always hydrated.
Yeah, I try to be, but it's usually with a combination of H2O and Gatorade.
I love Gatorade. And look at Steve, got the Gatorade shirt on.
Yeah, he's really immersed in the Gatorade.
Yeah, gotta love it.
The Suns making a switch here. Wright's checked in. Irving sets a screen for Wright. And a wide open look for Irving. Another shot. And it's Wright missing.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit too.
You know, for a long time, people would think about the Spurs as a slow-it-down team, but they've had an explosive offense the past few seasons.
It's Henderson on the wing. Off the pick. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Clark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And I like the way he capped that drive off, guys, with the one-hand punch.
Nelson kicks to Green. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Nelson, the pass to Green. Over in the corner, Allen. Nelson against Irving, and it's Nelson. That time on the assist by Green. Nelson's got his first 2 points. Suns trail by 13. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Henderson. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. Allen with it. He's picked up by Irving. Allen kicks to Nelson. 1:32 left in the third quarter. Here's Aldridge, and the layup's good off the glass. Aldridge has got 6 points.
Look at the points in the paint, the inside game. It's been very one-sided here for a while now.
Well, the defense just hasn't been physical enough at the rim. I mean, 8 of their last 10 points have come from the paint.
Shot is good, and the Spurs lead is cut back down to 13 points, and that one coming from Nene. 1:07 left in the third quarter. Nelson kicks to Aldridge. Back to Nelson. From deep, Green. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Henderson kicks to Irving. Nene with the screen on Nelson. Irving dishes to Nene. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got his 3rd assist on the night.
Well, the pick worked really well there. Nice job taking it right to the 10 for the layup.
Nelson from outside. That's good. Nelson's got his 2nd bucket of the night.
That's 2 straight quick 3-pointers they've allowed.
They better not make it 3 straight, because now all of a sudden you're looking at a hot streak.
Irving drives in. Tim Duncan grabs the miss.
You see the defenders get out of his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the bucket, but not that time.
Aldridge, the pass to Nelson. From deep 3-point range, and again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
Boy, they've come out of halftime just smoking hot from behind the arc.
Hey, trust me on this one, partner. They are going to continue to let them fly.
Really tough to get that shot off with the size differential there. It's not an individual matchup he's going to win every time, especially in the post.
Very well done. I didn't think he had any business operating down there with the big fellas.
And here's Mills. Lets the three fly. Got it to go with no time left on the clock.
You talk about stepping up at a big moment. That is some fortitude, folks.
I should say.
The awareness, the release, everything was just perfect.
Patty cake, I'm the baker's man. I bake them cakes as fast as I can.
And let's take this chance now to show you the State Farm assist of the game.
Well, with this assist, he shows you just what a well-rounded guard he really is. Kind of a combo guard, even though he's listed as a shooting guard. Really a diverse offensive skill set.
We're almost seeing more of that, aren't we? Some guys that have point guard skills but can play both those positions.
Yeah, for sure.
They've got Elton Brand. Irving is out there with Dion Waiters. Then it's Matt Barnes. And it's Thompson in at the 4 slot. That's who's out there for Phoenix. Buries it from about 10 feet away. Hollins has got the first points up on the board here in the 4th for the Spurs. And here are the Suns now. Now, here is Irving. Shot off the pick. Here's Brand, and that one is good with the extra effort on the glass.
Are you sensing or feeling a theme here, fellas? I mean, they're taking it straight to the bucket every time down.
Then why not? I mean, that's 8 straight points in the paint for this team. They're making this a very physical battle.
Ginobili kicks to Austin. Back to Ginobili. Now the pass to Mills. Now the feed to Ginobili. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Hollins. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. Ginobili's got his 4th assist in this one.
What a great possession, guys. Got a really good look there.
Timeout called, the Suns.
Manu Ginobili has always been one of my favorite guys to watch and an elite shooting guard on the court. I mean, the issue with him has been health. You know, last season he missed about a month with a tweaked hamstring, right as the Spurs went on their rodeo road trip.
Gobert, he's checked in for the Suns. We played just over 1 minute here in the 4th quarter. And Ginobili, guys, clearly focused on trying to stay healthy. The last couple of off-seasons, Steve, he's bowed out of international play.
Well, it's smart. I mean, he's got so much mileage on his body, and it's more important for him to spend his summers just working on his body, staying healthy, strengthening those areas that he needs. And it's always tricky, though, to say no to your home country when they ask you to play on the national team.
The D has gotten a little lax defending the three-point shot at that end.
Agreed, Clark. They've poured in 3 of the last 5 baskets on pretty open looks behind the arc.
Phoenix, no good that time either.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
You know, the Phoenix Suns have actually drawn a lot of influence from the Boston Celtics. They've hired several personnel people in management and on the coaching staff from the Celtics organization, and they've even implemented the Tom Thibodeau-style defensive system that originated with that Celtic club back in the day.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Nicholson comes in for Elton Brand, and it's Larkin in for Kyrie Irving. San Antonio also making some changes. Allen comes in for Manu Ginobili. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Patty Mills. Well, you talk about the Celtics and their connection with the Suns, both franchises with great histories. Boston with the league-leading 17 championships, but Phoenix, and this may surprise some, with the 4th best win percentage all time.
Yeah, that is surprising. Did not know that little nugget. And, you know, last season, though, they missed the playoffs for the 4th straight season, Kevin. That hadn't happened since '75, right around the team's founding. Suns fans are really accustomed to playoff basketball out there.
Here's what Phoenix has got going on right now. Nene, he's checked in for Nicholson. Harrison Barnes comes in for Matt Barnes. Gerald Henderson, he's checked in for Dion Waiters. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Larkin. Irving dishes to Nene. Can't get it to fall.
Great job defending the hoop there.
So important to have good presence defensively inside.
Here's Aldridge. The baseline jumper goes down.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
Yeah, they have the defense on the run right now because every pass seems to have a purpose. They're getting great movement, great spacing, and they're really lining them up defensively.
Barnes passes to Irving. They set the screen. He feeds it to Nene. Puts up the baby hook. Offensive rebound. Nobody near Barnes. Hits it from three-point range.
Boy, they're doing a nice job, a really good job of getting second chances here. And that's a great way to cut into that lead. I mean, nothing is more demoralizing to a defense than putbacks.
Duncan kicks to Brewer. The Spurs working the ball around now. Shot clock at 6. Fast break, here come the Suns.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, dominating performance for San Antonio.
But Steve, you know, you don't see this kind of a blowout often. But tonight, this is a quality win across the board to deliver out, Clark, this kind of punishment to.
Well, you know what? I thought they did a nice job of playing against the game. They kept the pressure on and clearly were dominant in every area.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
This is really going to be a good win. They've proven they know how to attack this team, and I think it's important to establish that against a conference opponent.
I agree, because they're going to get together 3 more times this season. You'd love to get an opponent figured out early when you're going to see them that often.
You look at the stats, and you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Aldridge. He affected the game so much with the way he was able to come up with steals and get extra possessions for his team.
The Spurs have gone 5 of 6 from the field to start the fourth quarter on a roll. That one goes, counted.
And the crowd here, of course, not happy about the outcome. But you know what? We saw a team tonight that came in prepared to do battle on the road, and they clearly wanted the win.
You know, they were determined to steal this game, and they showed it, Steve. Played harder and got the job done.
And he gets it to go.
You know, size-wise, this is not a great one-on-one matchup for him, but he got that shot to go.
But you wouldn't know it by how he finished. That's a nice hoop there.
Now Duncan, the dish to Mills. Here's Brewer. He connects.
And a terrific run to really put this ball game away.
And now let's see how many more points they can throw up there before the horn sounds.
And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. And this one was such a...
Gentlemen, standing here with Jameer Nelson, and what were the elements, Jameer, that helped contribute to this win?
Collective effort. I mean, we did things together defensively first and foremost, and offensively, you know, we have enough guys to score the ball, and guys are playing together and, you know, trusting one another, and that's the big thing for us going forward.
Jameer, thank you as always. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. And folks, that about concludes our broadcast tonight.